What's going on, everybody? This is Cody, the home theater hobbyist, and today I have a comparison of two relatively small bookshelf speakers. This is the Wharfedale Diamond 12.0, and that one over there is the Q Acoustics 3010i. Now, there are a lot of similarities between these two speakers, including price. They both have similar driver size. They both come from British brands. There's a lot of similarities here, but I want to talk to you about where their differences lie and also what I think in different categories, including design, features, and sound quality. So let's get to it. Before we get too far in this video, I want to give a shout out to MoFi Distribution. They sent me these Diamond 12.0s along with the 12C and 12.4s, and they sent them to me for review. So thank you, MoFi Distribution. Now I'll put a link to my review of that 5.0 system in the cards up above. So as you saw in those specifications, these are very similar speakers. They're both two-way designs. This has a 0.9-inch tweeter, that has a 1-inch tweeter. These are both 4-inch drivers down here, and they're both rear ported. They're both a part of speaker lines. This is a part of the Diamond 12 series. This is a part of the Q Acoustics 3010i lineup. And these are the smallest bookshelf speakers in that lineup, but they both have bigger bookshelf brethren. Both have bookshelf brethren that are 5- and 6-inch drivers. They both have floor standing drivers. I mean, there are so many similarities, even down to the colors. So we can go and start talking about design. They both come in 4 different colors. They both come in a black and white version, but you can also get walnut versions of both of these speakers. This is the English walnut version of the 3010i line, and that covers the entire surface of the speaker, top, bottom, front, and back. Whereas if you get the walnut version of the Diamond 12.0 or any of the Diamond 12 line, it has a walnut cabinet and a black front face. Now the fourth and final color is different between the two lines. You can get the 3010i line in a graphite gray, whereas you can get the Diamond 12 line in a light oak finish, which I have here. The light oak covers the cabinet and the front face is white. Now speaking of the front face, you can see I have the grills on both of these speakers. And honestly, I like the grill on the Diamond 12 a little bit better than the grill on the 3010i line, because the holes on the grill are a little bit larger, so you can see the speaker just a little bit behind there, especially since I've got the white face on this one, and I like that. I think it looks just a little bit more premium. Now the grill on the Diamond 12 covers the entire front face of the 12.0, and the Wharfedale logo is down there on the bottom. On the 3010i, the grill covers about 90% of the front face with the Q logo again down there on the bottom. Now the good news is, again, they're similar because they're both magnetically attached. So you pull these grills off and there are no holes on the front face. They're both acoustically transparent. I haven't noticed any difference in sound quality with the grills on or grills off. Now, as far as these grills are concerned, I have them here. This seems, again, a little bit more premium because this feels like some sort of MDF or wood, and this is more plastic, but again, that's the grills. Okay, now that the grills are off, you can see the front face of these speakers. And like I said, with the light oak version, you get a white front face. If you went walnut or black, you get a black front face. And these front face on the Diamond 12s, they are polished, so it looks nice. It actually looks kind of like a ceramic, especially this white that I have here. Although it's just a plastic, but it is polished, so it looks really nice. And that goes the same for the ring around the speakers. Again, it's got a little bit of a shine, a little bit of a polish to it, so it looks nice and premium. Now moving over to the 3010i, or the 3010i rather, it's got this mirrored surface finish. Again, this is plastic and it looks good, but honestly, from a front face standpoint, I choose the Wharfedale. I think it looks the best. Moving on to the rear face, as you can see, they are both ported. The Diamond 12 port is just a little bit larger than the 3010i port. They both have their, speaker information like serial number and stuff like that on each one of the speakers, and they both have 5-way binding posts, which means they can accept all major speaker connections, including bare speaker wire, banana plugs, spade connections, that type of thing. The 3010i line has these low profile binding posts that you can unscrew and do what you want to do there, whereas the Diamond 12 line has dual binding posts, so you can buy amp and buy wire these if you want to. These speaker connections are also actually a little bit higher quality. I kind of like that from the speakers. So in the design category, I've got to give it to the Diamond 12s. This wins this category. I like the 3010i line. When I pulled the 3010i out of the box, it reminded me of just how much I like it. I like the rounded corners. I like the front face, but honestly, the Diamond 12 is just better. It looks better. You got this front face that's polished, so it looks like a ceramic. You've got this two-tone look with the light oak and the white, or you could get the walnut and the black. The grill is just a little bit higher end looking. The rear face is white. I mean, it's just a really good looking speaker. So I've got to give it to the Diamond 12s from a design standpoint. Now let's talk features. The major feature difference between these two speakers are the dual binding posts, allowing you to bi-amp and bi-wire these speakers. So from a feature standpoint, obviously the Diamond 12 wins. Now let's move on and talk about sound quality. But first I want to play a couple of audio samples so you can hear the difference between these two speakers. Hopefully you enjoy those audio samples and you could hear a difference between these two speakers. Now, the first thing I noticed when listening to music and watching movies on these two speakers was that the 12.0 is a bit more laid back in its presentation compared to the 3010i. The 3010i is a little bit more forward than the 12.0. I also noticed that the 12.0's mid-range is a bit more prominent compared to its treble and its bass, whereas the 3010i, everything seems to be just a little bit more in line with one another. And what that really meant was that the 3010i has a bit more clarity in the high end at the treble and also plays just a bit deeper bass as compared to the 12.0. Both of these are only going to play down to around 50 hertz or so, but this does it just a little bit better, so it gives you a little bit better dynamics. But as for the mid-range is concerned, that's where the 12.0 shines. Vocals are nice and natural. When listening to music, I found that the lead vocals seemed just a little bit in front of the band, so there was a bit more depth to the image with the 12.0 as compared to the 3010i. Everything seemed to be somewhat in the same plane. The 12.0 also has the benefit of being able to bi-amp it, whereas you cannot do that on the 3010i, and that leads to a little bit extra clarity, 5 to 10%. I'm going to play a quick audio sample here so that you can hear the difference between single amp and bi-amp 12.0. Hopefully you could hear a difference between the bi-amp and single amp 12.0. Now, if you couldn't, let me just tell you, there's just a little bit more clarity, a little bit more detail in all the notes that you hear. Not a ton, but it is there when you bi-amp. Now, one thing I will say about the 12.0 as far as clarity is concerned, I think this plays a cleaner image than the 3010i. And I think that's because this is possibly better damped and has a little bit better bracing when compared to the 3010i. And I say that because this cabinet is actually a bit heavier. That's why I think it's a bit more damped. I think this is like 11 pounds, whereas this is only 9 pounds. So it's just a little bit heavier, and I think it gives you just a little bit cleaner sound for the notes that it plays. Now again, I think the 3010i is a bit more dynamic. It's going to play the highs and the lows just a little bit better than this does, but this plays it nice and clean. So overall, I think I like the 3010i for music and movies when compared to the 12.0 because it is a bit more dynamic. So you're going to be able to hear that high end and that low end just a little bit better when compared to the 12.0. If you listen to a lot of laid back music with heavy vocals, I'd go 12.0. But if you listen to anything with a lot of treble, let's say classical music, hard rock, even the top 40, 3010i is going to be a bit more dynamic. And again, that carried over whether I was listening to music or watching movies. I think this is better overall. from a sound quality standpoint. I still think this looks good, but from a sound quality standpoint, I would pick this one. Are they both perfect? No. I mean, again, these are smaller speakers, you know, they're $300 or not $3,000, you know, that kind of thing. So there are definitely flaws there. But overall, I think the 3010i just does a little bit better in the sound quality category. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment in the comment section below if you did. Tell me what your thoughts are if you've had an opportunity to listen to both of these. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. We'll talk to you next time.